Breaking news on your fast track to 7. A Russian missile hits a government building in Kharkiv. It's part of increasingly heavy shelling this morning in major cities across Ukraine. Their state emergency services posted this video just a short time ago showing a portion of that building exploding. The Ukrainian agency claims at least 6 people, including 1 child, were hurt in that explosion.
Also breaking, a shipping giant Maersk is temporarily suspending all container shipping to, from, and Russia. But the suspension will not include food, medical, and humanitarian supplies. Now, the company owns 31% of the Russian port operator Global Ports, which operates 6 terminals in Russia and 2 in Finland. The Copenhagen-based company, around the 500 employees in Russia. Now, last week it temporarily halted all port calls in Ukraine.
Also new this morning, U.S. officials were afraid of a dramatic Russian military escalation like we are starting to see in Ukraine as it enters its 6th day of war with Russia. Satellite imagery shows a massive Russian convoy closing in on the capital of Kyiv as U.S. defense officials say forces may attempt to circle the capital city within just days.
When a late-night address, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for an international tribunal to investigate Russia for war crimes. This is something the International Criminal Court in Hague, Netherlands says it will do soon as possible. Zelensky will address the European Union today. An estimated 500,000 refugees have fled Ukraine. The U.S., Canada, and several European countries are sending military supplies to help Ukraine. And for the first time since World War II, Switzerland is breaking its neutral stance, sending weapons and field rations to Ukrainian forces. And more in Ukraine has North Dakotans questioning the state's invest its money. The governor, Doug Burgum, is calling a special meeting of the State Investment Board. A documentation that shows in June of 2021 shows about $1.5 million of North Dakota's legacy fund is invested in the Russian Federation.
Burgum says North Dakota stands with the freedom-loving people of Ukraine and in opposition to ongoing attacks by Russian armed forces and President Putin. North Dakota owns bonds issued by the Russian Federation, but they were purchased from a third party. Nothing marks the first day of meteorological spring more than dodging potholes on that morning drive of yours. Public Works crews all over the FM Metro are now having to juggle pothole repairs with snow removal to keep you safe on the road.
Well, the Valley Today's JC Dodd joins us live this morning with some more information on those pesky potholes. Good morning, JC.
Yes, the warm temps that we've seen have been a nice change of pace from the deep freeze it feels like we've been in all winter long, but with those warmer temps come potholes popping up just about everywhere. Now, yesterday my morning commute was pretty smooth sailing, and today I was having to dodge those divots all the way there. Now, a big problem, 32nd Avenue. Look at this picture, or look at this video here from yesterday. You can see just how many potholes are popping up. And that's because when we see these warming temps and then the freezing overnight, that water seeps, the snow melt rather, seeps into those cracks in the pavement. And when it freezes at night, it expands, causing those potholes to pop up continuously. And they are just about everywhere, specifically on those very traveled roads. I'm talking 52nd Avenue South, 32nd Avenue, and 13th Avenue, all in South Fargo. And just this morning we've been on 32nd Avenue, and I've seen so many cars and a lot of heavy semi-trucks traveling, and that's causing those potholes to become more frequent and almost hard to not notice when you're driving around town. So public works crews are working hard. They're still focusing on snow removal because there's still snow on the ground, so they're widening streets. But if there are potholes around, if you have a particularly pesky pothole that is bothering you around your neighborhood or on your commute, you can snap a picture of it and send it into the City of Fargo on their website. Jordan Phoenix, I just posted a direct link to that on the Valley News Live Facebook page. You can see it there and submit it, and they'll try and get that fixed for you.
Yeah, people will definitely be submitting a few of them. I know that stretch of road is pretty difficult. JC Dodd reporting live this morning. Thank you. And more potholes are going to be forming today. That freeze thaw continues. Summer Schnellbach has a check of your forecast.
It sure does. And as you said, Jordan, it's the start of meteorological spring, so also the start of that pothole season. And we're starting with fairly seasonal temperatures. North Fargo indicating some light snow, but you can see on our camera here in South Fargo, things are dry. 16 degrees here in the metro, 20 degrees in Jamestown. It's 9 in Grand Forks, where we're seeing some clear skies at this hour. 21 in Fergus Falls, 18 Bemidji, and 14 in Devil's Lake. Sending you out the door this morning, you might want to be advised of some areas of light snow that is falling. We had a clipper system move through overnight, and temperatures by this afternoon will be warming again into the 20s. Here's that area of light snow becoming very light now as it passes through the central Red River Valley and into parts of Lakes Country. But if it adds that nice fresh layer of snow on the ground, there will be some slippery spots for your morning commute. Temperatures today in Fargo will be warming into those low 20s by the 3-4 o'clock hour. And notice the wind out of the north. It's going to be very light right now with a tiny bit of shake in our camera. That's about as breezy as we'll see it all day long. And a slight decrease in our cloud cover through this afternoon, but overall a mostly cloudy day. In Grand Forks, a colder start and a cooler afternoon, primarily warming up into the teens with a little bit more sunshine and that light breeze out of the north. Throughout your day in Fargo, again, those 20s for afternoon temperatures, and then we'll be slow to see our temperatures fall tonight. Look at this, another chance of more snow for tonight as we have another clipper in the forecast. But for today, not only is it meteorological spring, it's Lisa Green's birthday. She's been off celebrating her birthday this week, but head on over to Facebook and wish her a very happy birthday. Multiple chances for clippers throughout this week, and then first alert weather days. It was Friday, Saturday. The timing has shifted. It's Saturday, Sunday that we'll see those primary impacts with wind and heavy snow. We'll be keeping a very close eye on it in the next coming days.
A lot to go over here, but first off, Lisa, happy birthday this morning if you're watching from home. All right, Summer, thanks for the reminder.
Well, time now is 6:54. A West Fargo delivery driver is hoping to prevent others from ending up like him over the weekend with a stolen and now a beat-up car. It happened Friday night when 19-year-old Tyler Hogness was delivering for Jimmy John's in the 100 block of 7th Street East.
That's when a guy stole Hogness's car, eventually leading police on a high-speed chase down Cheyenne Street and I-94. Hogness urges drivers to always lock your door, even when you leave your car running.
Every time I close my eyes, I can still see the taillights of my car, specifically just driving off, and like me just running down the road, like yelling for them to turn around.
31-year-old Noel Sauceda Jr. was arrested for stealing Hogness's car and fleeing police.
A Leonard, North Dakota man is behind bars accused of shoplifting, robbery, and threatening to kill someone with a torque wrench. Police say a 19-year-old man was leaving his job at O'Reilly's when Isaac Swiftberg jumped in the car, demanded money, punched the victim, and then threatened him with the wrench. Officers say they found stolen items from both O'Reilly's and the Come and Go on Swiftberg after he was arrested.
The Grand Forks County Sheriff is now identifying a suspect in an officer-involved shooting as 37-year-old Joseph Espinoza. He was shot after police say he refused to drop a handgun while approaching two deputies Sunday. They say Espinoza crashed his car, broke into someone's home, assaulted them, and stole a gun. When deputies ordered him to drop the firearm, they say he pointed it at them. Espinoza was taken to the hospital for a gunshot wound to his leg. And many schools across the country are dropping face mandates after the CDC updated its masking requirements last week. Masks have been optional for students and staff at West Fargo Public Schools, but last night the school board took a step further in changing the district's COVID-19 mitigation strategies.
They voted to remove the option of requiring masks as a method of preventing the spread of COVID-19 in district buildings. Instead, the district will continue to follow some of its already implemented policies if active cases reach 5% of the student and staff population. District officials say they have seen a big difference in the number of COVID cases.
We started to see that our numbers were decreasing as a system. We're also seeing that the number of tests that were being taken for COVID in the system had also greatly declined.
Fargo schools are no longer requiring students to wear masks on school buses. An email was sent to parents saying the change is in accordance with the CDC's updated masking requirements. The West Fargo School Board is looking for ideas to name their next elementary school.
It's going up west of Veterans Boulevard and north of 52nd Avenue South. You can pitch your idea online now through March 31st. Big and getting bigger. Minnesota's already large budget surplus has now hit a projected $9.25 billion. The updated forecast is $1.5 billion more than the whopping $7.7 billion surplus that the Minnesota Management and Budget projected in December for the current two-year budget period. The change comes from higher incomes, consumer spending, and corporate profit forecasts.
But officials are cautioning that there is uncertainty ahead due to inflation and geopolitical conflict that pose a risk to the state's budget and economic outlook. The intense debate is already underway at the Minnesota legislature on how to use a surplus. Well, people in Minnesota's medical marijuana program can now legally smoke it. In the past, dispensaries could only offer patients cannabis in the form of pills, oils, and topical products.
Now they can offer cannabis flowers. Advocates say patients can benefit more from its medicinal properties. Plus, cannabis in bud form is cheaper. It's a North Dakota teenager's dream come true. 15-year-old Eva Robinson of Cavalier just finished the Junior Iditarod in Alaska.
Her time for the two-day race was 6 hours, 59 minutes. Now, Robinson, she placed 14th and was one of her 8 dogs earned the Blue Hardness Award for Outstanding Dog. Well, congratulations.
West Fargo Mayor Bernie Dardis is running for a second term. He is the finance chair of the local Metro Flood Diversion Authority and is serving on the Chamber's Public Policy and Flood Task Force committees. He says his focus is smart, affordable growth for West Fargo development. Well, forget about that groundhog. Today is the real sign that warm weather isn't far away because the historic Dairy Queen in downtown is about to open. It's the 73rd season for the DQ at 8th and Main.
Well, they start serving ice cream at 10 o'clock this morning, but people, they usually line up a lot sooner than that. The Dairy Queen will be open until the end of October.
So it's a nice day to go out, get yourself a treat out there. The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up for you right now on the Fargo CW. Happy March 1st, everyone.